This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 12th day of February in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The president of the Guyana Teachers Union, Mark Light, today rubbished the contention that a non-submission of the union's annual returns is an indication that the union's finances are being misappropriated. Last Friday, the Deeds and Commercial Registries Authority disclosed that the GTU last filed its annual returns in March of 2005 for the year ending December 31, 2004. In another statement, the Office of the Auditor General indicated that the last financial statement submitted by the union to the Audit Office was in 1989. The two government bodies did not issue statements regarding other trade unions. But the GTU president today, while noting that the union is actively addressing the issues raised, said the union's books are in order.
But to deem that the non-submission is a case of persons misappropriating funds is really sad, because we've had our books audit every year, especially as it leads up to our conferences.
Mr. Light said it would appear that a system of collecting financial records, such as annual returns and the auditing of financial statements for non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations, such as unions and religious organizations, appear to be defunct. Vice President Barbara Jagdeo last week said the GTU could be struck from the Register of Trade Unions over its breach of the Trade Union Recognition Act, which mandates the submission of financial statements. But the GTU president told reporters he is not worried.
So we have to ask ourselves whether there is a Trade Union Recognition Board. There is none. There's no Trade Union Recognition Board, so it would require a board to do such. And if the government hastily tried to put a board in place, it would tell us where we are going as a nation.
Mr. Light said members of the union are satisfied that each year the union's accounts are audited by an external auditor, and that report is submitted to the General Council as well as to the union's conference. Meanwhile, as the strike entered its second week today, Mr. Light said there has been no word from the government.
No, absolutely no one has reached out to us. And we have been saying all along, we are ready to speak. We're ready to talk.
On the picket line today, teachers vowed to remain resolute until their demands for better salaries are met. Headmaster of the Arau Primary School, Robinson George, journeyed to join the teachers here in Georgetown in their protest action. He said teachers are struggling to survive with their current salaries, particularly those in far-flung communities such as Arau.
We have a lot of challenges, especially in the interior. One is the cost of living. The cost of living is very high. And the salary that we are getting here and the difference between the coastland and the hinterland is very challenging. The money that we are getting is not enough.
Mr. George said the teachers in Arau are in full support of the Guyana Teachers Union, adding that prior to his placement at that school in Arau, he was assigned to the Etteringbank Primary School. He said the conditions were less than desirable at that school.
And recently I was working at Etchermang Primary. There are really challenges in there. One was transportation to go there. Transportation, I had to take 2 days to travel to Etchermang from Bartica. So I'm really from Warmadang, but I was assigned in there. So I spent time in there, and it's very challenging. Rapids and so on, and you don't enjoy what it is traveling all in this area. And the other part at the Etchermang, the housing, they have a housing in there for head teachers with less furniture, no furniture, no tables. They have a stove, no gas cylinder to help. And water, there is no clean water that you can access to, except for the rainwater.
Meanwhile, another teacher, Minty Fredericks, told News Source that teachers can no longer be patient, as he shut down a call by the president to be patient with the government.
That is not a reasonable request. We've been patient all the time. We've given them all the opportunities to do what they had to do. And we're still waiting. I mean, how long are we going to wait? Next year's election, nobody knows the outcome of election. They have passed a budget of over $1 trillion, and we're still waiting. There's nothing there for us. So what more are we waiting for?
The teacher said as a family man, he is living from paycheck to paycheck, adding that teachers cannot survive on their current salaries. And teacher Stefan Josiah said teachers are disappointed in the administration and its handling of the industrial action so far.
We're disappointed in the president, we're disappointed in the prime minister, and we're disappointed in the minister of education for not listening to the cries of teachers. Look, it's time. It's time. Teachers are not satisfied. You have to come and talk to the teachers and sort out what's going on. Your explanation, you need to hear both sides and find a way around satisfying the parties that may. Teachers are not satisfied, and all the reasons are clear for them to see.
Also on the picket line today in support of the teachers were former Prime Minister and former Georgetown Mayor Hamilton Green and his wife, Dr. Jennifer Bastille Green. Dr. Green told reporters that teachers are receiving an unfair salary, and it is preposterous that in this oil-producing nation, the government cannot find the resources to pay the teachers a decent salary.
We have the money. It's just a matter of putting the resources where they need to be put. Because I'm sure if we don't want 10 years down the road, we have a set of uneducated people who are unable to benefit from what this country has to offer. And it's education that's going to do it. We talk about it all the time. Education is the way forward. How are we going to have education if we don't have teachers teaching? How can you teach properly if you're not adequately compensated?
The government has called the strike action illegal and has since taken steps through the ministries of education and local government to cut the salaries of the teachers on strike. More on that story and more in a moment.
Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fete of MASH, Splash-O-Mani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff Water, Pulse, Nuff Soca. The night before the holiday, Soca star Problem Child. Ola Tunji. Splash-O-Mani, the official wet fete of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Ola Tunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
Fireside Suite, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price on a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensured on a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap on a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay on a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, KT. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that my crave. flavor. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the Buster flavors. Grab a Buster flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a Buster flavor, taste the savor. Buster flavors. Buster flavors.
As the nationwide strike by teachers entered its second week today, President Irfan Ali is pleading with teachers to return to the classroom, promising them that better days are ahead. While the government still refuses to engage the union, the president in a broadcast from State House on Sunday afternoon said since taking office, the current government has introduced a menu of measures to boost the morale and improve the living standards of teachers across the country. While acknowledging that there is more work that needs to be done, the president said teachers should be patient and understanding.
What more do we need to do to prove to teachers, prove to every category of workers in this country that we have your back? A little bit of patience and understanding, as I said when I met the teachers, that in the course of this year, in the coming years, it will get consistently better and at a more rapid pace.
Thousands of teachers continue to stay away from their classrooms across the country in an effort to get the government and the Guyana Teachers Union to the negotiation table to begin discussions on the union's multi-year proposal, which was submitted to the government 3 years ago. In his message to the striking teachers, President Ali said some people need to look at what the government has been doing for teachers.
Look at what we have done in the last 3 years. You know, when we came into government, one of the first concern of the teachers was that the previous government put them, when you were hired as a teacher, you were not hired at the right salary. You were hired at an older scale. As a result, your salary was based on an old scale and your increases was based on the old scale. We corrected that situation. And that correction alone cost us $700 million.
And the president also spoke about several new allowances that the government has introduced for teachers, adding that teachers also now have easy access to education through government-funded programs.
But we are making the opportunity available to teachers in their school to earn that degree through the Gold Scholarship Program, through the online teachers training program, through the associate degree program. Every teacher in the system now has a free opportunity that is invested that the government is investing on their behalf so that they can upgrade their skills, they can become trained teachers, they can earn a degree, they can become trained graduate. Outside of that, we're giving $6,000, an additional allowance of $6,000 for every teacher with a postgraduate diploma. And guess what? All the training we're doing under the Gold Scholarship Program qualifies those teachers to be part of this also.
President Ali maintains that the current strike action is political. He said the government's commitment to teachers was demonstrated when they were paid their full salaries during the COVID-19 pandemic, when they were out of the classroom. Teachers have reminded that while they were out of the classroom, online classes were introduced, and they were among the first group of persons to report back to work during the pandemic. Some teachers have also reminded that they were not the only group of persons to be paid during the pandemic while away from work because of the pandemic. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Local Government today announced that teachers currently involved in the ongoing strike action will not be paid for the days spent outside of the classroom. The strike by teachers moved into its 6th day today, with the government not answering the call to return to the negotiating table and meet with the union representing the teachers. In a joint statement, the Ministry of Education and the Local Government Ministry indicated that a list of teachers from all 11 education districts who have not been reporting for duty has been submitted. The ministry said they have taken note of teachers who have been absent from school without authorized leave, approval, or permission. The ministries explained that because teachers were not authorized to be away from their classrooms, their absence constitutes a breach of their conditions of service and their statutory duties, and therefore attracts legal sanctions. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Local Government said teachers will not be paid for the days that they were absent from the school without authorization, and that money will be deducted from their March salaries. Last week, some schools reported that police officers were visiting the schools demanding a list of absent teachers. The protesting teachers intend to continue with their strike action. In response to the statement from the Education and Local Government Ministries, the Guyana Teachers Union today said the move is illegal and the union will take legal action on the issue. The GTU believes that the move to deduct money from the salaries of the teachers for their strike action is part of the government's plan to intimidate the striking teachers.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Well, the meeting of the Public Accounts Committee got off to a heated start this morning after the Minister of Public Works, Juan Egil, fired off at the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Opposition Member of Parliament German Figuera, over statements made by Opposition Member Ganesh Mahipal regarding the irregular cancellation of PAC meetings due to the absence of government members. As the committee was about to consider the 2019 accounts of Region 10, MP Mahipal pointed out that scrutiny of the region's accounts was hampered due to at least 3 cancellations of meetings of the Public Accounts Committee. He said while the parliamentary office would send out notices ahead of the PAC meetings and wait for confirmation by Friday, it would normally indicate if there is no confirmation that a sitting of the PAC has been cancelled due to the unavailability of members. However, MP Mahipal asked that the parliamentary office provide specifics, noting that oftentimes the opposition MPs are available.
But I would like to suggest, sir, that when the Parliament or the National Assembly staff decides to send an email of cancellation, it be specific.
However, before he could conclude his statement, the PAC chair interjected, stating that the matter must be discussed in-house.
Member Michael, I hear, but I'd like to rudely interrupt. I believe this is a matter that we should have discussed in-house and not.
I would like to have see on it since he has taken.
But are we already?
On camera to speak
managing this thing, member Angel. And I would have indicated this matter will be discussed further, if it so pleases you, in-house. No other member will be given the floor.
No, Mr. Chief.
No member will be given the floor to discuss this matter.
But his ruling did not sit well with Minister Edgell, who, despite repeatedly being cautioned, demanded that his voice be heard.
Take 3 minutes.
Member,
you don't have the floor. And then when you finish,
you don't have the floor.
You want to shut it down.
You
We
don't
just
have
had
the
a
floor.
meeting where we could have discussed this matter.
Member, you don't have the floor.
You will speak because Mr. Mahito was allowed to speak. This is nonsense.
You will not have the floor.
To embarrass.
You will not have the floor.
This would have come up on any other business. And you waited until you were camera.
Minister Edgell argued that nonetheless the matter should have been dealt with under any other business in-house.
You allow Mr. Mahito to carry on camera, and when he's finished, you interrupted him after 3 minutes. And then you say no other member will speak. That's nonsense. This is lawlessness, and it must not be allowed to happen.
The chair of the Public Accounts Committee, while urging Minister Edgell to conduct himself, indicated that MP Mahipol's statement will be struck from the record. But that did not allay the concern of the minister. For his part, MP Mahipol indicated that he was unaware that the sitting was being recorded live at that point, and he respected the ruling of the chair. The opposition has long argued that under the new rule, there have been many cancellations due to the absence of government members of parliament. A 36-year-old Venezuelan national who was working as a health and safety helper at the artificial island construction site at Hoop lost his life on Saturday night when he reportedly fell into a hole and drowned. The Ministry of Labor and the police are leading the investigations into the death of Rusbel Jesus Rangel Azucar. A report of the incident stated that the man who was attached to Gas Total Solutions Company was placing a barrier around the hole with water on the southern half of the siteway wall when he suddenly fell into the hole. He was not wearing a life vest at the time of the incident. The Labour Ministry in a press statement said it is mandatory for persons to wear life jackets on the worksite in the area. Since the tragic death, the company has suspended construction operations in that area as the investigation has been launched. Today, officials of the Ministry of Labour visited the site and also met with managers and other workers. The artificial island is being built as part of the shore-based facilities for the oil and gas sector. The Minister of Labour, Joe Hamilton, has expressed growing concern over injuries and accidents which have occurred on the job site. The Occupational Safety and Health Department has reiterated the importance of persons and companies adhering to workplace health and safety regulations to mitigate the likelihood of workplace accidents. Just over a year after he was charged for stabbing a presidential guard and then opening fire on the official residence of the president, Nigerian national Bethel Chimezi has opted to plead guilty to the charge of discharging a loaded firearm with intent. He is still facing the attempted murder charge, and the trial for that charge is set to begin in March. In court today, the accused opted to change his not guilty plea to guilty under discharging a firearm charge. In keeping with the sentencing guidelines, he was slapped with a maximum sentence of 15 months in jail, but time served was subtracted, leaving him with 3 months on the sentence. However, he will remain behind bars on the more serious charge of attempted murder. In January of last year, he was charged with attempted murder and discharging a loaded firearm with intent. The incident took place on the 15th of December 2022. After stabbing and relieving a presidential guard of his weapon at a security hut at State House, the man opened fire just outside the president's official residence, sending persons in the area running for cover. He was eventually shot and tackled by police officers and presidential guards. He spent more than 3 weeks hospitalized before eventually being taken to court to face the charges.
Did you know Guy Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Grenadians have been assured that the oil spill off the coast of Tobago poses no threat to the state of Grenada. The National Disaster Management Agency said it received reports of a capsized ship off the coast of Tobago, which resulted in an oil spill. The agency said it contacted the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, ODPM, in Trinidad and Tobago for an update on the situation. The ODPM informed that it has conducted assessments, which included satellite imagery and aircraft flyover. The results indicate the oil spill is contained to the south of Tobago. Consequently, the state of Grenada is currently not under threat of impact from the oil spill. NDMA said it will continue to monitor the development in Trinidad and Tobago. Venezuelan officials have confirmed they're holding a prominent human rights activist, Rocio San Miguel, according to the BBC. Ms. San Miguel, a vocal critic of the government of President Nicolas Maduro, was detained on Friday and taken to an undisclosed location. On Sunday, the prosecutor general, who is a close ally of Mr. Maduro, accused Ms. San Miguel of involvement in an alleged plot to kill the president. The government has provided few details of the alleged plot. 57-year-old Rocio San Miguel is an expert on defense issues who leads an NGO which advocates civilian oversight of Venezuela's armed forces. And finally tonight, international news. Israel on Monday freed 2 Israeli-Argentine hostages held by Hamas in Rafah in a rescue operation that killed 74 Palestinians in the southern Gaza city, where about 1 million civilians have sought refuge from months of bombardments. According to Reuters, the mission by the Israeli military, the Shin Bet Security Service, and a special security unit freed Fernando Simon Marman, 60, and Luis Hare, 70, the military said. They were among 250 people seized during the October 7 raid on Israel by Hamas militants that triggered Israel's war on Gaza. More than 4 months on, much of the densely populated strip of land is in ruins, with 28,340 Palestinians dead and 67,984 wounded, according to Gaza health officials, with many others believed to be buried under rubble. The Israeli military says 31 hostages have died in that time, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Monday's rescue showed that military pressure should continue, as he brushed aside international alarm at plans for a ground assault on Rafah. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.